In March, students from the President Jimmy Carter Leadership Program at Georgia Southwestern State University spent their spring break building with Fuller Center partners in the Mississippi Delta. Hosted by the Clarksdale Area Fuller Center, it was the first ever U.S. Builders team to work in the Delta and the first U.S. Builders trip in a year since the pandemic began. We asked team members to share their thoughts on this life-changing service trip. Here's what they had to say.
We require service of our students, their volunteer service hours. We have a particular number for each year as they proceed through the 4-year program. This was just an extra add-on that would take them away from the environment that they're so used to an environment that they're not used to, that has a history to it that was worth studying right now, particularly as we look at social and racial injustice around the United States. And to go there, to do something for someone else, because we look at service as part of leadership, and to learn and to apply what they gain from that experience.
Even though we're a tight-knit community here in Americas, they all know each other well. Like, we all get along and we're all friends and we'll help each other out, but these people really come together. When we were staying at the Fuller Center house in Clarksdale, we had people coming up to the house just because they wanted to meet us, just because we were new in the community. And all of these people knew each other and like they were lifelong friends. So I thought that was interesting.
I was blown away by the amount of people living in such a torn down area, but still find the best out of it, and that really inspired me to learn the best about myself. Learn about how to always deal with things, no matter how hard it is. They're going through the toughest things people can go through, and they're still smiling, walking the streets smiling, everybody saying hey to each other, and it's amazing.
You can kind of tell it was impoverished, but you wouldn't really know it by like the sense of community that was there, because people came together and did stuff for each other. And like every city we went to in Mississippi, it's very family aspect in that sense, so you wouldn't know that they were poor by how they lived their lives.
When you first go there, as Rick said, you can't really notice it if you're driving through, but if you stop there, you will notice it. But at the same time, the people there are just really nice, and you wouldn't know that they're in poverty or not.
I thought it was going to be like basically the same thing from like where I grew up, because it's a small poor town that I lived in, like that I grew up in. But it was actually like way different. Like the community there was so much more like inviting than like the place that I grew up in. So that was different to me. Like everybody had their own kind of story that they like grew up in, but they told you these stories to kind of like inspire you, not to like make you feel sorry for how they grew up.
It's always the same as the community. It's as students told you, and you probably know, people try to make the best out of it. And when you get to know them and you live with these people for a week, things change. Things change for us, they change for them. And I've been twice to Nicaragua back and going back to the same family to see what happened. And they still accept us as family because we're the ones that built that house. And probably the same will be with them, with this house in Mississippi. So.
I really enjoy community service. I know a lot of people think it's a burden, but I've always thought like I have the time, so why not use it to help other people? And this week really taught me that we live a privileged life, whether we realize it or not, because I grew up, comfortable, and there's people out there that don't. So it was really nice to be able to help a family that was in need. And I enjoyed working with my fellow peers in the leadership program, renovating the house. And I thought it was going to be a lot harder coming together as a team to do something like that, but it definitely was not, because we had a great group with us.
When we went out there, we were kind of just like friends and stuff, but as we were out there, we got closer because we were spending like 24 hours a day with each other. We were sleeping in bunk beds right next to each other. So it was just like a really good experience. We would stay up till 12 just talking to each other, playing board games in the house and stuff. So I feel like we definitely got a little bit closer from this experience.
Oh, it brought us 100%. It brought the team closer together. We went out there as a team and we came back as a family. I thought that was the most important thing. When you're staying, head to toe with somebody and 24 hours a day, you really do become close to somebody, and that's 100% what happened. And we were all friends going out there, and we became brothers and sisters on the way back. It was phenomenal.